So we had a massive melt up here today off of the trade deal with the UK, and are we going to see this continued action? Let's get into it here today with our daily SPY slash SPX analysis. It is Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Again, smash that like button if you can. Night and day difference too when you guys do that for the channel, by the way, after yesterday's video. I really appreciate you guys doing that for me. It helps out a lot. Again, let me know in the comments. I'll do another giveaway if we can continue hitting 200 per video. So really appreciate that stuff. It does help out. Also, come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com. You've been on fire here lately, especially in the trading room. And we got swing trading alerts, analysis, live day trading, you name it. One of the things, though, I want to get into, though, is this morning, you can take a look here. I tweeted this out, and we were looking for 570 this morning. And, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant, too, about, like, and this is, I just see this all the time. Like, these, you can't just look at, and this is what we do here in the trading room, too. But you can't just look at gamma exposure. I see all these, like, fake gurus out there talking about, even this morning, like, 5,500, 5,520, we're going down. It's going to be a gap and crap. You got to look at more than just the GEX volume and GEX OI. You have to look at everything else too, and that's really what we do here. Not once did we go negative on this little dip here, and probably a couple of years ago, I probably would have shorted here and gone, looking for a gap fill. And, we didn't see that. This was, it was green the whole way. And we had a nice melt up here and, just de-risked already and just looking for runners here. We talked about 5,700 being a level that might get tagged today, and that was the case. We saw some hedges come off. Obviously, the UK trade deal helped out, but a lot of people were predicting gap and crap, like, it's a sell the news event. And, it kind of started that way, but we never really saw those flows change. And as soon as that was over, we just saw hedges fly off. And Trump talking about, now he's trying to do it again, saying that it's a good time to buy stocks again. So we'll see. We did see NAIM really increase this week. In fact, I think I retweeted that too. Yeah, so exposure index getting a big pump out. I'll see. I haven't looked at the CTAs yet, but I imagine they're probably starting to get there, at least right now. We can also look at tomorrow. I've already got that ready to go here, and you can see a little bit, 5750, that is already starting to come in. That was actually there earlier, and we're also seeing, maybe even 5800, which we know is there for next Friday. So we'll see what happens here. My guess is we're still probably going to hold up. I didn't know if we were necessarily going to pump today. We talked about possibly hitting 5700, which we obviously did, but past here, it's going to be a little bit tougher. You got the 200 MA. Let's see if that tests tomorrow. 5750, again, that lines up perfectly with the level I just showed you. So there it is, 5747 spot 97. A lot of sevens there. But 5750, and then through that is 5800. So that would be, to me, kind of like brick wall territory. And right now, we still have positive flows, so we can get there. My guess is we'll hold up until probably the middle of next week. And then bears can have a chance to do some damage. That they'll be able to take their claws out here, but they're still trying to fight this right now. Put premiums are still pretty high, and they've been continuing to fade into this rally, or at least try to fade the rally, I should say. And it hasn't really worked. So right now, are we going to see continued melt up again? I still wouldn't bet against a. I wouldn't bet for a decline. I wouldn't bet against the rally really until at least mid next week when you start getting into that expiration time frame. But right now, yeah, we're still a little, momentum's a little stretched. Can we do some backing and filling tomorrow and retest, 5650? It's certainly possible. But right now, I wouldn't fight it. Again, I think the best way to play it if you want to be short is just with vol hedges. And that's where we've been here. And outside of that, we were closed, like this is the type of day I like here, just get a good trade off, close out your risk here and just leave runners. And again, that's just been the right play here. And outside of that being mostly neutral as far as swing trading is concerned. Day trading, man, it's been absolute fire though. I mean, I'm absolutely loving this. So in any case, if you want to know more about gamma exposure and other dealer levels, Join the trading room, pays itself off immediately. So ask anybody who's in there. But anyway, so yeah, 57.50 tomorrow could be an area on a retrace. 56.50 could get tagged again. That's all the way down here though. But we're still in positive configuration as long as we're holding this area here. And then for SPY here, that's going to be around the, you got the 565 and then kind of like 562, 563 area. QQQ, that actually exceeded some targets here. So 49, I wonder if we got 30 minutes left. I wonder if they'll dump this here into the end of the day. There's still some interest sitting there at 490. So they might try to pull the rug in the last minute there and close us below 57 even, and maybe even QQQ. So we'll see, but market's holding up fine. I wouldn't really make too much out of it one way or the other. We are into the 200 tomorrow, and so maybe we might see a little back off. Getting a little bit of a, we're still not even really stretched on the RSI either, but starting to see some momentum decline just a little bit, like breadth here. McClellan, a little bit of a divergence there, but again, I still wouldn't really bet against the rally here just yet. I do think the bears will have a chance though soon. And it's just really going to come down to how much damage can they do. Anyway, IWM here up 2.5, reclaiming the 50, so it looks good, higher high there. By the way, another level to watch before I forget is, get rid of my day trading lens here, but another level to watch here is this Liberation Day high. So that's still another 50 points away. Big, big, big level there. And that will coincide exactly with 57.50 and the 200 MA. So obviously, needless to say, big spot. But before I forget there, but yeah, IWM here, back above 200, back above the 50, so nice repair there. Dow higher highs as well. That's still a little bit of a ways away from the 200 DMA. We got SMH here. This was strong all day, so was IGV. Again, this has been a good leader. I've been watching, we always watch SMH and IGV, but lately IGV has just been a tank, and it's been really giving us good leading indicators here. And, we can draw this trend line a little bit differently. It's just, it's not necessarily science, it's art. You could say, oh, it's got to be like this. It can be, but, it's hit this area. It respected it a little bit. It respected it there, so I'm going to respect it. But IGV remains strong here. Look at Palantir, up 8.5. That was just a dip buy the other day. So PLTR, very strong here. We got transports that was leading all day as well. Finally got higher highs there. So this is still kind of soft though, I'll be honest. And here's something for the bears. I mean, right now, this is looking a lot just like like a bear wedge here. So really need to reclaim that 50 MA, and I mean, we're not even close to Liberation Day levels here. So there's your big bear piece right there, is the transports are just not that strong. And we don't want to see that if we're looking for a continued rally. That does not negate the other 50 factors that we could talk about on the bull side though, but that is something. Rates today, again, 2-year up. I think this will be lower by the June meeting and we'll see a Fed cut. That's just my thought right now. But 2-year was up today. 5s, 10s, and 30s, all higher. And you still have a nice bull pattern here, specifically like really on the 30. I mean, this is just really strong here. I mean, look at it, even look at like a monthly here. This is, yeah, I would not want to fade that. I would not want to be on the wrong side of that. 10s, same thing, really. So the Fed may be forced to cut based on the 2-year, but that long end does not look like it wants to go down. XHB, that was up 2.25. So nice recovery there. VNQ holding up as well. That's got a lot of resistance here. XLF, again here, and again, another point for the bulls, right? So, you keep saying, oh, it's going to be a big sell to rip here. Maybe, but if that's the case, why are financials, why is the trend up on financials, right? Above all the moving averages, weekly, daily, and monthly. There's no problems here with XLF. Oh, Aaron, it's just because of Berkshire. Okay, well, what about VFH? There's a pure bank ETF, right? This is still quite strong. So, and again, I'm not saying that we won't put in a lower high. I'm not saying it can't be a bear, but this is a big problem. Financials should not be leading the market if everything's bearish. KRE up to almost 3%. There's a higher high there as well. Broker dealers here, a very strong day. Look at that. That's near all-time highs. You know, you got some resistance up here at, 880 to 900, but that is really strong. Oil also had a nice day, up 3.25. So good reversal yesterday, and finally the oil shorts. It is just like free money for them sometimes, but it did come back here, and we're watching this inverse head and shoulders here too. If this triggers, we could be looking at, we could be looking at $65. So that would take you back up to these, basically back up to these highs here. Possible W here on the bottom too. But we need to see follow through. Got to clear this 60 handle, and then I can go to 62, 64, and 65, obviously. XLE, nice little outside move there as well. XOP, breakout. So nice job there if you took that. And that was just another freebie idea I gave out on here. Yeah, you got the gap fill, and then, I mean, they really didn't build much resistance besides that, did they? Maybe 125, right? Pivot. Yeah, I would say 125 after that. OIH, nice move too. So if you took that, don't, just protect it now. But anyway, nat gas here, flat day. Starting to build a little bull flag. So nat gas hanging in there. We have the dollar getting a nice bid today too. This is just way oversold, and we've been looking for a continued bounce here. We have finally cleared 100, so we'll say 102 next, maybe. And then maybe like 103.25. Still got a lot of work to do on the weekly, but again, I think personally, I see what's going on. I see the reasoning for things to be changing, but at the end of the day, like, this is not an overnight thing, and everybody acting like Europe is all of a sudden the answer is just, quite frankly, ridiculous. That's just my thoughts on the matter. Dollar yen here, up 1.5, higher high, so kind of confirming the risk on look. Gold down again. That's not bad for equities. Possible lower highs here finally, right? So we finally have a possible lower high set up here now. I'd say if we, you don't want to see this go much lower here. In fact, let's just take a look. You don't really want to go much past the 6. Yeah, you don't want to go much past this 618. Otherwise, I would say the most likely scenario is lower lows on the daily. Lower high, lower low. So that increases the odds of gold consolidation moving forward into the summer. Silver backing off a little bit, but nothing terrible there. I don't love this pattern. I don't hate it either. I like it a lot on the larger time frames though, on the monthly. Platinum and palladium hanging in there, no problems really. We'll see if they can get a little leg up. Copper down a little bit, but nothing horrible there. Nothing really going on. And then Bitcoin here, triple digits again, or should I say 6 figures. So at the over 100,000 now. And again, nothing really, I mean, this is, we talk about this all the time here, but this is just, let me get rid of some of these old lines. This is, I mean, it's just a big bull flag. Like, that's really all it is. It's just comparisons to like last time. And it's just, like, oh, it's going to go up and then fail. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, but this is different though. Right here, you have a big fat bull inside bar, right? That's a power bar, and you're inside of that, and you have a flag formation here, right? Look at the flag formation on the weekly. Flag formation on the weekly. This was not. Look at the monthly here, right? You right here, you failed. This right here, that's your power bar, that failed. So I don't really see it as being the same setup. It just doesn't look the same to me. And it doesn't even matter if it is or isn't, because we're not even at the highs yet, so it shouldn't matter. Trend is up. Trend is your friend. Don't fight it until it tells you to. So that's still holding up. Let's take a look. SPX here. Yep. So back below 5,700. We talked about that. Let's see how we're gonna get to. See if they sneak a 490 close in there on the Qs, like we just thought could happen. We'll see. You know, it's not of much consequence though. Again, market's acting well. I'd prefer us to, I would think for bulls, you'd prefer to close above 57 just to kind of like get that out of the way because we haven't done that. But that said, you know, structurally it's okay, at least on the smaller time frames here. And you know, again, we talked about this, I think it was last night. But yeah, I mean, this is just like a big, all this was just a big little like 4-hour kind of flag here. So in the near term structure is fine. The next level is going to be your Liberation Day high, which coincides with the 200 moving average on SPX right at 5750. Gamma boys are sitting there as well, as I just showed you, and then through that's 5800. So anyways guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.